can't explain. And one of them is the ability of dogs and cats and other animals to know when their owners are coming home.
Rupert Sheldrake studied biology at Cambridge University. He is famous for his controversial studies of pets and clairvoyance.
I have hundreds of stories from dog owners and cat owners about this kind of behavior. And I've also done random household surveys in Britain and America that show about 50% of dog owners say their dogs know when a member of the family is coming home, and about 30% of cat owners.
Pam Smart says her dog always can tell when she's returning to their house in Manchester, England.
I asked her to carry out some observations with JT. Her parents kept notes on when the dog went to the window. She tried coming home at different times of day, from different distances, and it became clear from this logbook that JT really was responding quite accurately to when she came home.
There he is, wagging his tail furiously 20 minutes before Pam comes through the door. Maybe JT, the dog, is taking cues from Pam's parents, or somehow is picking up the sound of Pam's car on the road.
It was important to have the person come home at non-routine times. They had to come home in a non-routine vehicle, for example in a taxi or some other unfamiliar means of transport. And the experiment had to be done in such a way that the people at home didn't know when they were coming, because otherwise they could have given clues to the animal.
Dr. Sheldrake set up video cameras with time and date displays in different homes. Pam would bring JT over to one of these locations, turn on the camera, and leave. JT spent his afternoon sleeping, playing, and chewing. So far, pretty typical pet behavior. Pam returned home at a time picked by the roll of the dice.
I threw the die to get a random number between 1 and 6. Say it came number 3, then that would be 1:30, and that's the randomly chosen time at which they'd come home.
The randomly chosen time meant only Pam and Dr. Sheldrake knew when she was expected home. Even so,
the dog seemed to know when she was coming home. We did experiments with Pam coming home by different methods, in cars, in taxis, on bicycles, and once on a train as well. And none of that seemed to affect it.
To remove any bias, he asked researchers who weren't involved with the study to review the tapes. They reviewed 100 hours taken over a 6-month period and confirmed Dr. Sheldrake's findings.
When I looked at the data from these videotapes and from the blind evaluation of them, it was clear that JT started waiting at the door, not when Pam got in the car to come home, but when she decided to come home. He was responding to her intentions before she even got in the car.
JT had a remarkable record, 90% accuracy.
When I'd finished these experiments with Pam and JT, I then did further experiments with some other dogs, just to make sure it wasn't something special about JT. It wasn't. Other dogs do this too.
Can science unleash canine clairvoyance to detect something critically important?
They showed me that other unexplained abilities of animals might be real, things that scientists had dismissed for years, including the ability of animals to predict earthquakes.